Dear guys, now we will see about third unit of advanced Java programming. It's a Java server page. It's a JSP. This unit contains JSP introduction, JSP lifecycle, attributes in JSP, JSP elements, directives, declaration, expression, scriptlet, action element, using session object, cookies, working with the Java mail, and usage bean tags. Now let's see about one by one. First one, introduction to JSP. JSP stands for Java Server Page. It is a server-side technology. Is used for creating web applications and used to create a dynamic web content. JSP tags are used to insert Java code into HTML page. It is an advanced version of servlet technology. JSP's web-based technology helps us to create dynamic and platform independent web pages. Java code can be inserted in HTML or XML page or both. JSP is first converted into servlet by JSP container before processing the client's request. Next one, features of JSP. Coding in JSP is easy as it is just adding Java code to HTML or XML or reduction in the length of the code. In JSP we using action tag, custom tag, etc. Connection to database is easier. It is easier to connect the website to database and allows to read or write data easily to the database. Make interactive websites. In this, we can create dynamic web pages, which helps to user to interact in the real-time environment. Portable, powerful, flexible, and easy to maintain. As these are browser and server independent. No redeployment and no recompilation. It is dynamic, secure, platform independent, so no need to recompilation. Extension to servlet, as it has all features of servlet, implicit object, and the custom tags. Next, JSP syntax. As a declaration tag, a declaration tag is used to declare variable. Syntax is like lesson special symbol, express symbol, DEC variable. So declare variable and person symbol is close the tag. For example, less than symbol percentage is expense symbol int var is equal to 10 semicolon percentage symbol and close the tag. This is an example of declaration tag. This is a JSP syntax. Next thing, JavaScript. JavaScript allows us to add any number of Java code, variable, and expressions. The syntax less than simple percentage Java code and close the tag. JSP expressions. Uh, JSP expressions evaluates and convert the expressions to a string. Syntax less than symbol percentage equal to expressions close the tag. Process of execution steps for execution of JSP are following. Create HTML page from where request will be sent to server. For example, HTML pages. To handle request of user, next is to create project folder structure, create XML file, create var file, start tomcat, run application. This is the process of JSP file execution. Next, JSP life cycle. JSP lifecycle is defined the translation of JSP page into servlet as a JSP page needs to be converted into servlet first in order to process the service request. The life cycle starts will the creation of JSP and ends with the dis- disintegrations of that. Some steps is there in JSP life cycle: translation phase, compilation phase, installation phase, execution phase, and destruction or cleanup phase. This is the JSP life cycle diagram. JSP file and servlet file is a translation phase. Servlet class is a comparison phase, and the JSP init method, JSP service method, and JSP destroy method is a sends request called once, the handle multiple request and sends a response. This is the dynamic representation of JSP lifecycle. Next thing, translation phase. But a user navigate to a page ending with the .jsp extension in their web browsers. The web browser sends an HTTP request to the web server. The web server checks if a compiled version of the JSP page already exists. If the JSP page's compiled version does not exist, the file is sent to the JSP servlet engine, which converts it into servlet contents. This process is known as translation phase. The web container automatically translates the JSP page into a servlet. So, as a developer, we don't have to worry about converting it manually. Next, compilation phase. The compilation phase, the JSP page was not compiled previously or at any point in time. Then the JSP page is compiled by the JSP engine. In this compilation phase, the translated.java file of the servlet is compiled into the Java servlet.class files. Installation phase, in this phase, load the equivalent servlet class, create instance, call the JSP init method for installation the servlet instance. The installation is done only once with the servlets init method where database connections, opening files, and creating lookup tables are done. Execution phase. In this phase, is responsible for all JSP interaction and logic execution for all requests until the JSP gets destroyed. As the requested JSP page is loaded and initiated, the JSP engine has to invoke the JSP service method. This method is invoked as per the request, responsible for generating responses for the associated requests and responsible for all HTTP methods. Destruction phase, in this phase, invoked when the JSP has to be cleaned up from use by the container. The JSP destroy method is invoked. Uh, we can incorporate and write cleanup codes inside this method for releasing database connections or closing any files. Attributes in JSP. What are the attributes? Buffer attribute, autoflash, content type, error page is error page, extends, import, and the info is thread safe. Is the uh, attributes in JSP. Buffer means specifies a buffering models for the output stream. Autoflash means controls the behavior of the servlet output buffer. Content type defines the character encoding scheme. Error page defines the URL of another JSP that reports on Java unchecked runtime exceptions. Next thing, a language defines the programming language used in JSP session, specify whether or not the JSP pages participate in HTTP sessions. Next, JSP elements. JSP elements, the four types of elements is the declarations, scriptlet, expressions, and comments. Like JSP declaration, JSP scriptlet, JSP expressions, and JSP comments. Next, JSP declaration. A declaration tag is piece of Java code for declaring variable, methods, and classes. if we declare a variable or method inside a declaration tag, it means that the declaration is made inside the servlet class but outside the service method. We can declare a static member, an instance variable, and methods inside the declaration tag. Syntax of declaration tag, person is less than person symbol, express symbol, declare variable is close the tag. Next, JSP scriptlet. Scriptlet tag allows to write Java code into JSP file. JSP container moves statements in JSP service method while generating servlet from JSP. For each request of other client, service method of JSP get invoked, hence the code inside the scriptlet executes for every request. A scriptlet contains Java code that is executed every time JSP is invoked. A syntax of the tag, uh, less than single percentage Java code close the tag. Next thing, JSP expressions. Expression tag evaluate the expression placed in it. It accesses the data stored in stored applications. It allows create expression like arithmetic and logical. It produces scriptlet JSP pages. Syntax, less than symbol person is equal to expressions close the tag. Next, JSP comments. Comments are the one when JSP container wants to ignore certain text and statements. When we want to hide certain content, then we can add that to the comments section. Syntax, less than person symbol JSP commands close the tag. Next, JSP directives. JSP directives are the message to JSP container. They provide global information about an entire JSP page. JSP directives are used to give special instructions to container for transition of JSP to servlet code. In JSP lifecycle phase, JSP has to be converted to a servlet, which is the transition phase. They give instruction to the container on how to handle certain aspects of JSP processing. Directives can have many attributes by comma separated as key value pair. This is very important key value pair. In JSP, directives is described in less than percentage at percentage close the tag. Syntax of directives less than symbol at percentage at simple direct attributes equal to mention the attributes in the double quote close the tag. Next, types of directives, page directives, include directives, and tag directives. These are types of directives. Page directives, include directives, and tag directives. Next, JSP page directive. It provides attributes that are applied to entire JSP page. Syntax, less than symbol, percentage, and at symbol, page, dot is mentioned the attribute name, whatever it may be mentioned the here, and close the tag. And it defines page dependent attributes such as scripting languages, error page, and buffering requirements. It is used to provide instructions to container that pertains to current JSP. Following are some list of attributes associated with the page directives. What are the attributes? First one, language, extents, import, content type, info, session, is thread safe, auto flash, buffer, is error page, page encoding, page error page, is EL ignore. This is the list of attributes associated with the page directives. Next thing, JSP include directive. JSP include directives is used to include one file to another file. This include file can be HTML or JSP or text files, whatever means, etc. It is also useful in creating templates with the user views and break the page into header and footer and sidebar action. It include file during transition phase and the syntax like this use less than symbol percentage at include we have mentioned the file name and specify the file location path. Next thing, JSP tag lib directives. It directive is used to define the tag lib library with the tag lib as the prefix which we can use in JSP. More detail will covered in JSP custom tag. Now we see this later. JSP tag lib directives used to in JSP pages using the JSP standard tag libraries. It uses a set of custom tag, identifies the location of the library, and provides means of identifying custom tags in JSP page. Syntax of these directives percentage less than small percentage at tag lib URLs equal to mention the URL here and the prefix what will the prefix some mention the value. Next, JSP declarations. Uh, JSP declarations used to declare variables and methods in pages scripting languages. And the code written inside the JSP declaration tag is placed outside the service method of auto generated servlet. So it does not get memory at each request. A syntax of that tag less than symbol percentage expression file field or method declarations. For example, like this. Uh, for example, this is the example. For example, we are using HTML body within our is the value. Is the value the variable is data and the custom base using percentage equal to q of 3 is keeps equal to 3 the value passed on to the value in place of n. So but like 3 into 3 into 3, so 3 into 3 9 into 3 27, so the output value is the 20. This is using the simple JSP piece of example, simple example. Okay. Next thing, character string declare the declaring example. String names equal to mention the string name and the int mention the value. Print the value name is name variable and the age is plus the age variable. The value is goes to here 27. This value goes to here Chaitanya. This is the simple example of JSP program. Next thing, expressions. Expression tag evaluate the expression placed in it, converts the result into string and send the result back to the client through a response object. Basically, it writes the result to the client. That means browser. Syntax of expressions less than percentage is equal to expressions plus the tag. For example, is the example of expressions. Within body tag using the syntax of less than percent symbol using the value. So equal to this is using the expressions 2 plus 4 into 5. This here using the left to right with the up which operators are higher priority 4 into 5 20 plus 22. This is a value into the result. And another example, this is the declare the variable here. int a is equal to and b is equal to and c is equal to some values are value assigned here and print the result here. Just adding these three values. Okay, this is another example. Next, another one example, JSP expresses tag application set attributes. My name is Chaitanya. Display dot JSP. This is using the another value. Click here for display. And another this is the continuous of previous example. This is the string. The value passed to the here and application get attribute using the this method. The value getting from the outsource. Okay. This is the expressions. Next thing, scriptlet. In JSP, Java code can be written inside the JSP using the scriptlet tag. Let's see what are the scripting elements first. A scripting tag is used to execute Java source code in JSP. Syntax is less than personal symbols Java source code to close the tag. For example, this example HTML body and less than symbol percentage out dot println is just print the value welcome to JSP in the browser page. Just simple example. Next, another example using form actions. This is a welcome.jsp is another file. R is the same file. Here input type text name equal to username and input type submit value. This now click that file, the value move to the here. Okay, the request of get parameters. So your name is passed here. What will input get from the users? The assigned value here. Now out of print the welcome the name here. The variable name. The string name is equal to request of get parameter. The get parameters is used to get the value from other places. Assign the value, the name variable, and this variable print the variable, the value printed here. This is another simple example. Okay. Next thing, action element. Each JSP action tag is used to perform some specific task. The action tags are used to control the flow between pages and use Java bean. The JSP action tags are some action tags are stored here. JSP forward, JSP include, JSP use bean, JSP set property and get property, JSP plugin, JSP param, and JSP fallback and JSP forward. This stack forward the request and response to another resources. JSP include this tag used to include another resources. JSP USP means creates or locates bin object. JSP set property sets the value property in bin object. Get property prints the value of property of the bin. And param JSP param means set the parameter values. It is used to forward and input mostly. And JSP fallback, it can be used to print the message if plugin is working. It is used to JSP plugin. Next, JSP forward action tag. The JSP forward action tag is used to forward the request to another resources. It may be JSP or HTML, another resources. For example, is the another file, the HTML file is the space JSP forward page equal to print date dot JSP. From this file is moved to another files. You see out.println today is java.util.counter get instance and get time. So now the print value print date. Okay, next another example. This index page, the printer pages will the value using JSP param tag. So JSP param names equal name, values equal Java pointer. This is a JSP forward tag used here. Okay. So next we'll move to using session object and cookies. Session object and cookies. Cookies generally cookies are defined as the text files. It will be stored in the computer mainly in the client machines for tracking purpose like login details, file transfer, and etc. We can also saw the cookies in web browsers, in web applications using debug mode, choose application storage cookies. We can see whatever we see the web applications or website in the cookies column. In JSP, we handling the cookies concept like cookies handling. JSP currently supports for the cookies using HTTP cookies, and the JSP has some predefined methods for handling the cookies. The client server interactions like a request and response method using like request.get cookies used to return the array of the cookies instance. JSP cookies methods, some methods are public void set domain, public string get domain, and a public void set max age, and int get max age, get name. This is next session object. Session is most frequently used implicit object in JSP. The main usage of it to gain access to all the users data till the user session is active. Like for example, HTML form actions and input text submit value. Use your string name request get parameter and session dot set attribute. Session dot set attribute user and a name this value. Here you send JSP files using JSP file. HTML page string names equal to string session dot get attribute user the value first here. Now close the file. The second two separate files is using here. Uh, Next, we will move to Java working, sorry, JSP working with Java Mail. JSP working with Java Mail. Java Mail application interface and the Java activation framework should be installed on the machine to send email using JSP. Download these files and unzip them in a newly formed directories. Amongst many jar files add mail.jar and activation.jar file to the class path. For example, email form.jsp and reset.jsp and the request is sent to email sending servlet and email utility Java mail and SMT servers. The SMT server move to recipient mail. This is the way of Java working with JSP working with Java file. Here, the result is determined by a result of JSP, whereas the mail goes over different steps and using a simple mail transfer protocol. It reaches the recipient. Sender file out the mail form and sends it over the sending servlet. While result.jsp checks if the mail is sent successfully or not. It notifies the sender accordingly. Java mails are sent over certain protocols like SMT protocol, POP protocol, and IMAP protocol. SMT protocol, it is the most common protocol, better known as a simple mail transfer protocol. This protocol is used to send mails over the internet protocol. It supports letter to protocol while sending messages between a server. POP protocol means it's post office protocol. You should get a mail at a remote server. POP2 sends mail over the SMT protocol, whereas POP3 can send mail with or without SMTP. IMAP protocol, as the name suggests, Internet Messages Access Protocol. It access the email at a remote server as formed protocol. Steps two, what are steps to create and send mails? First one, get the session object. Get the session object. Compose the message. Send the message. This is the creating to send a mail. Get the session object means Java mail session object will do the work as follows. For example, session mail session is equal to the session dot get default instance properties like using the getting object here. Compose the message. This part consists of the main body. Create my message object for the session. Methods like set subject and set text will set the contents. For example, my message EMS is equal to my message on mail sessions. Send the messages. Java Mail API uses the method send of transport classes to send email. For example, this is send email just JSP. Your page import java.io, java.util, java xmail, and the page import java x.mail.internet, and this page use the import these packages. Now string result, string to pqr.gmail.com, and mail ID is string form name, so the mails, there's a string host, this local mention the local host here. The properties is system.get properties, properties set properties, session mail system object. I'm just using the exception handling object. So try catch block. Main message is indicate a new messages and message set form and add recipient, set subject, set text, set transport, send with the message sent to the another mail, and you say close the block. Now create the catch block messaging exception. Now the max dot print stock traces. Using another HTML pages, the HTML is in there, sending the mail usage file, what are print result, and the question is print the results, what are maybe the results error result, or sending the sending the message sent the message, what are maybe output, the output printed here. Okay, this is the example of how to create a and sending the mail. We'll to next topic, usage usage bean. The JSP usage bean action tag is used to locate or instantiate a bean class. If a bean object of the bean class is already created, it does not create the bean depending on the scope. But if the object of bean is not created, it initiate the bean. Syntax of JSP bean, JSP on JSP bean ID is equal to creation ID in the scope, mention the scope name and mention the application name, class equal to mention the class name, and what type of functions is being used. Usage of JSP bean action tag ID is used to identify the bean in the specified scope. Scope, it represents the scope of the bean. It may be page, request, session, or applications. Detail default scope is page. The page, records, session, and applications. Next class. Instantiate the class specified being class, but it must have no array document and no constructor and must not be abstract. Next type, right? This type provides the bean a data type if the bean already exists in the scope. It is mainly used with the class or bean name attribute. If we use it without class or bean name, no bean is initiated. Next bean name, instantiate the bean using the Java bean instance method. For example, is the example. JSBin using ID is for method ID and a class what class is include. President versus int else equal to and package and the used value here. This is the using JSP use bin tag. Thank you.